This is the 2026 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X, a simple but effective mid-size truck. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this truck from our friends at Or Nissan in Shreveport, Louisiana. And in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to go over the particulars and tell you what you can expect to find if this is something you plan to buy. Now, I am going to step back and let you see the exterior. It's called Citrus Strike. If you're wondering about this bright green color, almost like a highlighter or something like that. And I really like what we have here. Full LED lighting. You're going to have your LED headlights right here, LED daytime running lights. Turn signal indicators are also LED. We'll have a little bit of lighting right here inside of the headlight housing. This is something to kind of set it off a little bit. And then we'll also have our LED fog lights located down here on the lower portion of the front end. One thing that I like that Nissan has done is bringing consistency to the overall look with the front end of a lot of their vehicles that we're seeing redesigned over the course of time. With the grille here, we're going to have our Nissan logo. That fits very well with this particular model to have the orange lettering and the orange around this area. And then the lack of gloss black here, I think, is a really good thing. Everything here on the front end has a matte finish. The matte black, the matte silver, that holds up really well when it comes to damage that could come from rocks and different things like that. And this truck really is meant for off-roading. You're going to have your nice bright recovery hooks kind of hidden away because of their location so far underneath the front end, but they are going to be here. Obviously, this truck will be four-wheel drive. You can select that on the fly. We're going to have the 17-inch Pro wheels. You know that by the word Pro being on there, but they're going to have really more of a gray finish, which I think works quite well. For those who don't like gloss black so much, well, that does get the job done. Now, some simplicity here with our side view mirrors. They're going to be manually folding, just like that. They're not going to have the turn signal indicators built in. How important is that to you in your car buying or vehicle buying decisions? They're going to be power adjustable and will also have the blind spot monitoring built in. You're going to have remote start, lock, unlock. You're going to have the panic button down here with your remote. And then right here, let's see if we can do this real fast. You're also going to have a key located within the key fob, the remote itself. And the reason for that is what we have right here. If the battery in the key fob happens to die or whatever the situation is, you can still get in and out of your truck with no problems. Body color with your door handles. And then again, to match everything we saw on the front end, we're not going to have any gloss finishes with our surround on the windows. I think that works quite well. Working our way back, you're going to have your Pro-4X decal right here. And the LED taillights will be here on the rear, nice and bright, going to get the job done. Frontier logo is going to be stamped into the bed here. Again, that same Nissan logo that we saw on the front end. And Pro-4X right here. What do you think? Should that be highlighted in orange or maybe the body color of the truck, something like that? Tell me what your thoughts are where that's concerned. Under the hood is the 3.8-liter V6 engine. It is a naturally aspirated engine. It makes 310 horsepower and 281 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 will come in about 7.5 seconds. Top speed is 113 miles per hour. And how about your MPGs? You might wonder with this particular truck if they're good or not. You'll have to tell me what you think based on what's here on the window sticker. Now, these are potentials, not guaranteed. 16 city, 20 highway, 18 combined, and 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And how about your gas tank size? First of all, you will not have capless fuel fill. You'll have a gas cap. This is a 21-gallon gas tank, in case you were curious to know about that. And we'll work our way back here to the tailgate and the bed area. It does have some dampening built into it, so you just drop it down like that. How about your max towing capacity? We're looking at 6,680 up to 6,710 pounds, and your payload will come in at 1,220 pounds. You'll see that you have the spray-in bed liner. That's always a welcome thing to have. Seems like everything should come with that in this day and age. You're going to have your 120-volt power outlet right here and a few tie-down options throughout the interior of the bed. Now you have your affixed in place tie downs. As you can see, you can also have little areas right here you can slide back and forth with tie downs depending on how you want that to be, not only right here but also in this area, so you can move things around accordingly as you need to. And there's also going to be some interior bed lining on each, or bed lighting I should say, on each side, as you can see. And if you're curious to know about the rear window, it does slide back and forth. It's not power sliding, it's going to be manual, but that is something that is there. All right, let's talk about what your second row passengers are going to find. We'll start with the door panel right here. We're going to have a comfortable armrest, a little bit of orange contrast stitching right here, and then the door bin slash bottle holder down here on the lower portion. Put a nice size bottle in there and a little bit of storage space behind that. And speaking of storage, we're going to have the under seat storage right here that you can see nicely. If you need to put something else in there, you can, whatever you want to put in. And then we're going to have the ability to bring these seats back and forth depending on what you need to do with the releases on the seats. There's a release right down here on this area, and so we can drop that down if we want to. Now, I'm going to hop in real quick. Depending on where the front seats are set, well, positioned I should say, you can have a little bit of space or not much space. As you can see, the seats do sit kind of straight up back here, but it'll get the job done as far as getting people around. You do have some connectivity options, another power outlet right here, and a couple of USB ports. Now, there aren't any air conditioning vents back here, but in a cab of this size, I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal as far as that goes. We will also find our sunroof with the manual shade right there that will tilt and slide open if you want it to. And just as I mentioned earlier in the video, you do have the manual sliding rear window. The sticker price is $49,665. And we'll start going through the interior here in the front area with the upper console. This is your control for your sunroof. You want to open and close that, you can do that. You have a handy dandy sunglass holder right here. And when we work our way down to the rear view mirror, it's not adjustable with these buttons right here. That's actually your home link. You're going to have 3 different buttons for your garage door openers. And we'll work our way down to the driver or passenger side area over there. You can see your orange contrast stitching. That's going to be throughout the interior in a few different areas. Your glove box will offer a little bit of storage space. And then on the passenger side door panel over there, you're going to see some of that orange surround right there, as you can see. Nice large armrest and door bin, a little bit of additional space where that's concerned. And now I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to move over here to the driver's side and show you what's going on. Everything for controlling your power side view mirrors and where they're positioned. You can lock and unlock the doors. You can also lock and unlock the windows, and then all your controls for rolling those down. We're going to have one touch down and one touch up with our front windows. And then you can see some of our other controls that are going to be here over here on the driver's side. You drop the lever right there to adjust your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. All of your expected steering wheel mounted controls will be here, including cruise control over here. You've got your voice commands, all that kind of stuff, managing the radio over here. And then we're also going to have everything for our headlights and our turn signal indicator control right there. The turn signal stalk. Keep your turn signal fluid reservoir full so those work. And then everything for your windshield wipers right there. The driver's display, for those that are looking for something that maybe has a little bit more of an old school look and feel to it, you have your analog gauges. You do have the digital speedometer there in the middle, but you can see what is going on where all of that is concerned. Just a nice look. Comfortable steering wheel as far as that goes. And we're going to go ahead and move over here. We're going to have everything for controlling four-wheel drive right here. You can shift into that if you need to, depending on what you need to do. And then as we work our way up here, right above the center screen, we're going to have a little bit of storage space right there. So you can put whatever you need to up there, that's going to fit. And the center screen itself. Now, I like that this is not an overload of information and details here. So you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see. There's going to be your clock if you want to bring that up. You can get your temperature and all that good stuff here. Depending on what you need to see, you just work your way through. If your audio was on, you'd see what's playing right there. And then when I go into reverse, we're going to see our backup camera. You also have that nice overhead view, and it reminds you to check your surroundings. So make sure you do that and you stay nice and safe. Everything for managing the radio will be here if you want to do that on this area instead of on the steering wheel. volume, and then you can adjust what you're listening to there, menu. It's a couple of different areas here where you can choose what you do. The Frontier logo, again, in that orange color right there as far as that goes, and then dual zone climate control. All of your controls for that will be right here as far as managing everything, and then turning on your different features such as your front and rear window defoggers. You can manage fan speed. You can sync both sides together if you want to, depending on what you want to do, where all of that is concerned. So when you sync that together, you're not going to have the orange light on. When it's on, they're not synced together. So in case you were curious about that, there you go. Now you know how that works. And we're going to have our heated seat button right here, depending on how you want to use that. There you go with all of that. It's going to be right there. And then heated steering wheel as well, so nice to see that. We've got a couple of USB ports here. Our other heated seat button for the passenger side. Now you would expect to find your wireless charging pad here. It's not here, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the interior. It's actually right back here. In fact, let me show you something about that so you know that your phone is charging. This little light right here will illuminate when that comes on, so you can see. Now it's illuminated in orange. That means my phone is charging. And we'll work our way back up here to the shifter. Going to have our conventional style shifter, so you can just come back here into reverse, neutral, and then obviously go into drive. You can go over here and manually work your way back and forth, pushing that over to the left if you want to. And depending on what you need to do as far as the truck goes, where you're going and what kind of terrain you're dealing with, you can see all of your different options right here. Mud, rock, you can see what all is here. We have our hill descent control and hill start assist. That's the button right there. And a couple of cup holders, just basic things. And then working our way back here to the center console, there is a reasonable amount of space within. Okay, here we go on our test drive with the Nissan Frontier. Let's see how it handles out on the road. 310 horsepower will definitely get you wherever you need to go. Not looking for neck snapping performance or anything along those lines, but it will get up to speed when you need it to. The ride quality is good. You're gonna feel a few bumps driving down the road with those all-terrain tires on here, but it's not terrible, at least not here in the front seat. And I do feel like I have a lot of room. There's definitely a lot more room in the front seat than there is in the back seat. So depending on how tall you are and whether you're claustrophobic or not, choose accordingly. But one way or another, this is a great truck as far as a mid-size truck goes. It's going to get the job done with all of your different driving modes, four-wheel drive. Everything's going to take care of you where that's concerned. And I like that you don't have an overload of technology here. For those who are maybe looking for something that's a little bit more simplistic, this is definitely something to consider, as I showed you with the center screen and the other features that are here with your technology in the front seat area. Easy to see out of, I like that. You've got your blind spot monitoring built into your side view mirrors if you need that. And let's see how we do as far as our turning radius goes. So here we go. Ooh, it's a little bit tight. Wow, that is a little bit of a tight turning radius, even though it's a smaller truck. But we got there. Acceleration is not bad. Like I said, 310 horsepower will get the job done with this truck. You're not looking to go out and race anybody unless it's someone else in their Frontier. Then it's a driver's race. Who leaves the starting line first, or who can handle the turns the best, whatever the situation is with that. And these seats are pretty comfortable. I'm pretty pleased with the way they feel. I feel like I could take a nice long road trip and do just fine as far as that goes. It seemed to be padded quite nicely. Overall, it is a really good choice when it comes to a mid-size truck. I realize being right at about $50,000 is a reasonably high price in this day and age. It's not as bad as it could be. The average vehicle, as of the time I'm making this video, does cost exactly $50,000 within the United States. So you're pretty much there with this, but you're not over it. So that's a good thing as far as that goes. But when you consider some of the competitors and higher prices where those are concerned, I think you're doing pretty well if this is the trim level you choose to go with. And there it is, the 2026 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X, a simple but effective mid-size truck that nobody's going to say that's not really a truck like they always do with the Honda Ridgeline. So tell me what you think about the Frontier. I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I would like to thank my friends at Nissan for loaning us this truck for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.